If you're ready now, the starting lineups today for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Leading off in center field, Omar Marino. Batting second at shortstop, Tim Foley. Hitting third, Dave Parker in right field. Batting fourth at first base, Willie Stargell. Hitting number 5 in left field, John Milner. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Bill Madlock. Ed Ott will do the Pirate catching in bat number 7. Hitting eighth at second base, Phil Garner. And batting ninth, the Pirate pitcher, right-hander Jim Bibby. Again for Pittsburgh, it's Marino in center field, Foley at shortstop, and Parker in right field. Stargell at first base, Milner in left field, Madlock at third base. With Ott catching, Garner at second base, and Bibby pitching. For Cincinnati, to lead it off, Dave Collins in right field. Joe Morgan will bat second. He'll be at second base. Hitting third at shortstop, Dave Concepcion. Batting in the cleanup spot in left field, George Foster. Johnny Bench will catch in bat number 5. Hitting sixth at first base, Dan Dreesen. Ray Knight will bat seventh. He'll play third base. Hitting eighth, Cesar Geronimo in center field. And batting ninth and pitching for the Reds, right-hander Frank Pastore. Once more for Cincinnati, it's Collins in right field, Morgan at second base, and Concepcion at shortstop. Foster in left field. Bench catching, Dreesen at first base. While the bottom third again will have Knight at third, Geronimo in center, and Pastore pitching. This copyrighted broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by Cincinnati Reds Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Cincinnati Reds Incorporated is prohibited. The announcers on this broadcast are employed by the Cincinnati Reds Incorporated. Joe, game one last night went to Pittsburgh, 5-2, a game that really had to thrill the crowd no matter who they might have been pulling for, but it really puts the Reds in a bit of a precarious position in having to hopefully gain a split today.
Well, Marty, the young man on the mound for the Reds this afternoon has been put in that position his last two starts, in a sense, in Houston, as you'll remember, when the Astros had won the first two games of the series, and Frank Pastore was sent to the mound and pitched an outstanding ball game, his first complete game in the major leagues. Then the next time out against the Atlanta Braves, and all they did was go out and shut him out, his first major league shutout. So Frank does have a lot on his back this afternoon, and hopefully our offense can get going. Last night's ball game was an excellent ball game, and we have to give John Candelaria a lot of credit. He pitched a whale of a baseball game, and as we also mentioned, the fact that a lot of people felt that the bullpens would be the telling factor probably in this championship series. And you look on last night, you have to say the Pittsburgh bullpen won the first game. And when I say that, they performed very, very well out of the bullpen. So hopefully this afternoon the Reds can get on the board and get some runs. Our offense just hasn't been what we expect it to be, and maybe this afternoon it'll return to form.
Well, we're set to go now as Omar Marino stands into the batter's box, left-handed batting Pirate center fielder to start things off here against Frank Pastore. Frank was 6-7 during the season with a .426 earned run average, but that really does not tell the story of how effectively this young man pitched upon his return from Indianapolis. He is ready with a pitch to Marino. It's taken for a strike, and this game is underway. He was optioned to Indy on June the 1st, brought back to the Reds on the 27th of July, and after his return went 5-3 with a .291 earned run average. The 0-1 to the plate, swung on and fouled back and out of play, and Frank jumps out ahead 2 strikes on Marino as Tim Foley waits on deck, and he'll be followed by Dave Parker. Scattered clouds overhead, but a very comfortable day for baseball here in Cincinnati, and the Reds and their fans and everybody concerned hoping this will not be the final day of baseball in Cincinnati in 1979. The 0-2 pitch swung on, bouncing ball by the mound. Morgan up with the ball, on to first, one down. Omar Marino flying down that line, but Joe Morgan throws him out, and that brings up shortstop Tim Foley. As we check the Reds defensively for you, Danny Dreesen at first base, Joe Morgan at second, Ray Knight at third, Dave Concepcion at shortstop. The outfield features George Foster in left, Cesar Geronimo in center, and Dave Collins in right. And Johnny Bench doing the catching. Only change, aside from the pitcher, of course, Geronimo in the lineup with the right-hander Jim Bibby on the mound. Hector Cruz was out there last night. Tim Foley, right-handed batter, and the first pitch is on the inside edge for a strike. He went 2 for 4 with a run batted into the opener, had a sacrifice fly in the third inning off Tom Seaver as the Pirates jumped out in front 2-0 last night. He swings on a breaking ball and slaps it foul. So at least to the first couple of batters here, Frank Pastore throwing nothing but strikes. He was out in front, 2 strikes on Marino. When he bounced him to Morgan, he's 0-2 with Tim Foley. Outfield playing Foley to hit the ball the other way. Here's a pitch, and it bounces up there for a ball. The umpire alignment, Ed Montague calling balls and strikes. Jerry Dale at first base, Frank Pulley at second, at third Dick Stello, in left field Jim Quick, and on the right field foul line John Kibler. Swung on and hit into right center field. Geronimo playing him that way, and 2 out. Here's Dave Parker with 2 down. Of course, Pastore in his last 2 starts, as Joe mentioned, he beat Houston 7-1 in Houston, and then came back to shut out the Atlanta Braves here on Friday night. So in his last 2 starts, encompassing 18 innings, he's been touched for only 1 run. And really, it was on the strength of those 2 final regular season starts that propelled Frank Pastore into getting the opportunity to pitch in the second game of this playoff series. Originally, it was to have been Mike Lacasse. Mike has had his problems. Frank has gone the other way, and it'll be Mike Lacasse in game number 3 and the first in Pittsburgh on Friday afternoon. Dave Parker fouls it away. That game in Pittsburgh Friday, like this one today, will be a 3:15 start. Chuck Tanner says he will name a starting pitcher for that game probably tomorrow, either before or after the Pirate workout at Three River Stadium. The 0-1 pitch swung on and bounced foul off to the right, and Parker behind now to Pastore at 2 strikes. In all likelihood, Bert Blyleven would be the Pirate starter Friday. Chuck Tanner was telling me before the game today that he would not hesitate, nor would he have done so last night, hesitate to use Bert Blyleven in relief. In fact, he had Blyleven throwing in the bottom of the 11th inning. The 2-strike pitch, and that's outside for a ball. So as Chuck said, if he doesn't have to use Blyleven in relief today, he'll start him on Friday night. If he does today, then in all likelihood it would be Bruce Keeson in the Friday afternoon game. Parker hits one slowly along the first baseline, but that trickles foul just before reaching the bag. Both the Reds and the Pirates playing their 21st League Championship Series game. A new record. Old mark was 20, held by the Oakland A's over a total of 5 League Championship Series. So the Reds and the Pirates jointly hold that record, and it's being set right here today as both ball clubs are playing in their 21st League Championship Series game. 2 out with the bases empty here in the top of the first. Pastore kicks and fires. Parker swings and he misses. Struck him out on a high fastball. That's all for Parker and the Pirates. 3 up and 3 down after a half inning of play in game 2 in Cincinnati. Pittsburgh nothing, and the Reds are coming up. Well, we're looking forward to the Reds playing a lot more baseball the rest of the '79 season, but while we have a minute, we'd like to remind you to make note and mark your calendar to order your tickets early for 1980. Drop a card to the Reds ticket office and ask them to send you a 1980 schedule and mail order envelope as soon as the Reds begin accepting orders for individual game tickets. Mail orders are filled, first come, first served, so the earlier you order your tickets, the better your seat location will be. Just drop a postcard or a short note to the Reds ticket office and ask for a 1980 schedule as soon as it becomes available. Write Cincinnati Reds, Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45202. Jim Bibby, 6 feet 5 inches tall, 250 pounds. He's 35 years old, from Franklin to North Carolina, now makes his home in Madison Heights, Virginia, and he did quite a job. 12 wins, 4 losses with a 280 earned run average. He appeared in 34 games, 17 in the bullpen, 17 as a starter, had 2 complete games. Dave Collins, who had 2 of the 7 hits that the Reds picked up last night, will start it off. Bibby with a wind and a pitch, and Collins swings and drives one into left center field, but Marino will make the catch for 1 out. Dave Collins hitting a line drive, but Marino was there to play it. Here's Joe Morgan now. Had Bill Matlock on our Touching Bases pregame show today, and he said, as far as he's concerned, Jim Bibby had as much or more to do with the Pirates beating out Montreal down the stretch to win the Eastern Division Championship than anybody else on this Pittsburgh ball club. He began the year in the Pirate bullpen because Pittsburgh had an abundance of starting pitchers and would have been in the Pittsburgh rotation 3 weeks earlier than he went into it, but he came up with a rib cage problem, and that held him back a bit. He pitches low to Morgan. No score, bottom of the first. The Pirates were out in order against Frank Pastore. Collins is lined out to Marino in center, and the 1-0 pitch to Joe Morgan. That's taken for a strike. Pirate infield has Stargell, Garner, Foley, and Madlock at first, second, short, and third. Same outfield as we saw last night. Milner left, Marino center, and Parker right. And that out catching. Bibby 1-1 to Morgan. Swung on and popped up but out of play behind the plate. Well, we had the usual pregame activities that are normally associated with postseason play. The University of Cincinnati Marching Band doing a good job in entertaining the crowd as it filed into Riverfront. U.S. Air Force provided the color guard. National anthem. Another excellent job turned in by Bertie Garcia-Helmick, who sang here a couple of times earlier during the season. Pitches inside on Morgan, 2-2. And the honor of throwing out the ceremonial first pitch went to the Honorable Bobby Stern, the mayor of our city of Cincinnati. Bibby nodding his head up and down as out hangs the sign, the 2-2 pitch. That's high, ball 3. Bibby in years past was known as a pitcher who could throw hard but had trouble getting his pitches over. Not so this year. He showed pretty good control in issuing 47 walks in 137 2/3 innings while striking out 103 and giving up 110 base hits. The string is out on Morgan, and Joe is on with a walk as Bibby misses low. So the Reds have the game's first base runner as Joe Morgan draws a one-out walk. He had a base on balls in last night's opener, and the batter will be Dave Concepcion. We touched earlier on the fact that the Reds' offense has simply not been up to snuff. And a couple of startling figures after the Reds swept the Houston Astros here last month. The 16 games since that time, including last night's League Championship Series opener, the Reds as a team have been hitting only .229 and have been averaging 2.7 runs per game. Morgan steps back to first as the throw goes to Stargell, so that pretty much tells the story of the Reds offense, or the lack of it to be more precise, hoping to come out of it today here. Morgan a good lead, throw to first again, and again back in time. Well, Jim Bibby has to be concerned with Joe Morgan. While Dave Concepcion banged out a couple of hits last night and 5 times up. Morgan with 1 foot on the carpet, 1 foot in the sliding pit. Bibby with a stretch. There goes Morgan. Pitch is taken for a strike. Throw down to second. Not nearly in time. Joe, I guess by virtue of Jim Bibby's windup, if the Reds can get the right people on today, they could almost run him out of the ballpark.
Marty, there's no question about it. Bibby really has the long delivery to the plate, and well, Morgan really, you might as well say, stole second almost standing up, although he did slide because he was there way before Ed Ott's throw. But Bibby's delivery is very long, and we couldn't see a lot of stolen bases, as you said.
Dave Concepcion swings and hits a fly ball back into right field. Dave Parker settles under it. He makes the catch, and there are 2 men out. So with 2 down and a runner at second base, the batter will be George Foster. And George, of course, was a man who accounted for the 2 Cincinnati runs last night. Following a leadoff single by Concepcion in the 4th inning, Foster absolutely shot one out of here to center field off John Candelaria that found its way to the first seats in the green. He was officially 1 for 3 in the opener because he had a couple of walks. So Bibby trying to retire Foster and leave Morgan out at second base. Right-hander into the big stretch motion and pours it home. Foster takes it up and in, ball 1. 2 down, runner at second here in the home half of the first inning as Bibby shakes off Ott. Now the 1-0 pitch. Foster checking on the pitch outside. 2 balls and no strikes. We'll be leaving by charter flight at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning to go to Pittsburgh. Both ball clubs will be working out at Three River Stadium, Pittsburgh, from 3:30 to 5 p.m. tomorrow. The Reds will be working from 5:30 to 7 p.m. early tomorrow evening. Here's a 2-0 pitch. That's taken ball 3. So Bibby not yet has given Foster anything to hit at. As Ed Ott bluffs a throw down to second, the count on George, 3 balls and no strikes. Reds trying to get on the scoreboard first. Pittsburgh did last night with those 2 runs, one of them on a home run by Garner in the 3rd. Then Foster with a 2-run home run in the 4th to tie it up. And then the big blow in the 11th inning, the 3-run home run by Willie Stargell that won it for Pittsburgh 5-2. Foster takes ball 4, so Bibby walks him on 4 straight. We'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
Hi, this is Chuck Doherty. Win a year of cost-free living in the best year of your life, 1980, on WLW Cincinnati.
You'll find a wide array of distinctive gift items and souvenirs when you stop by the Cincinnati Reds 580 gift shop and newsstand, corner of 6th and Walnut in downtown Cincinnati.
And Ott just now leaving the mound after going out to talk with Bibby, who has issued 2 walks in the inning, one with 1 down to Morgan, and now a 2-out free ticket to George Foster. Johnny Bench, a triple and an infield hit in 3 trips to the plate last night. Bench leveling the bat. Bibby into the stretch. Runners take their leads. Outfield deep. Here comes a pitch, and Bench takes a strike at the knees on the outside part of the plate. Danny Dreesen on deck. We saw some out-of-sight pitching last night, I'll tell you, from the 2 starters, John Candelaria for Pittsburgh, Tom Seaver for the Reds. And, of course, the bullpen was just outstanding for Pittsburgh. Romo had his problems, but Tekulve and Jackson and Robinson did the job the rest of the way. Bench swings and misses, and a fastball up, and Bibby's in front, no balls and 2 strikes. Bibby, nothing fancy. He'll come at you. Fastball, curveball. Just a couple of basic pitches, and originally in the New York Mets organization, played for the Texas Rangers, had a no-hitter for that ball club in the American League a few years back. Also has been with the Cleveland Indians and back in the National League here in his 2nd year with Pittsburgh. Bench swings and hits one back into deep right center field. Parker going back, and he's going to make the catch. Dave Parker with a long run as he flags Johnny Bench's drive down in deep right center field on a warning track to end the inning. So for the Reds, no runs, no hits, no Pittsburgh errors, and a couple left. And at the end of 1 complete, the Reds nothing and the Pirates nothing. Well, as the Reds and the Pirates play Game 2 of the National League Championship Series, Game 1 of the American League set will be getting underway at Baltimore tonight. Earl Weaver is pitching deep Orioles against the offensive-minded California Angels, making the first postseason appearance for that club in its 19-year history. Jim Palmer, the veteran, going for Baltimore. Nolan Ryan, the express, pitching for California. And, Joe, how do you look at that series?
Marty, you have to feel that it should be pretty even, because you look at the offense of the California Angels, and just reading about them, it looks like they do have their pitching back in order somewhat, but the Orioles with a fine pitching staff. So that should be quite an interesting series over there. And I don't know that you could give the edge to either ball club because of certain things. Pitching for the Orioles, the offense to the California Angels. So it should be very interesting.
That series, of course, will be featuring 2 of the top candidates for the American League Most Valuable Player Award. Don Baylor, who led the major leagues in runs batted in with California with 139, and Ken Singleton, who had such a super year for Baltimore. Well, they will get underway tonight. Willie Stargell leading off the top of the 2nd here for Pittsburgh. We're scoreless after 1. Stargell takes a pitch away for ball 1. Willie, during the year, hit .281 with 32 homers and 82 RBIs, and hit the big one last night. 1-0 to him. That's over for a call strike. This Pirate ball club never short for offense. Throughout the 70s, this has been a team noted for being able to put a lot of runs on the board. Stargell has been the mainstay down through the years. 2 balls and 1 strike. He'll be followed by another left-handed batter and left fielder John Milner, and then third baseman Bill Madlock. Pastore kicks and throws. Stargell swings and he misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This has been a ballpark that Stargell always seems to hit well in. He fouls this one off the third base side, well back into the seats. Of course, when you look at the career of Willie Stargell, I don't think there have been too many ballparks that at one time or another he has not brought to its knees. And he and Dave Parker are a couple of guys that they can take the ball out of any sector in the ballpark. It doesn't make a great deal of difference if you pitch him away and they make contact. He can drive it out of here to left center, straight away left. It makes no difference. 2-2 pitch again. That's way high, and Pastore has run it full on him. In the first, Marino grounded to second, Foley fly to left, and Parker struck out. And the payoff pitch to Stargell. That's ball 4, and Willie's the first Pirate base runner as he walks to kick off the second.
Number 34, John Milner.
John Milner, 0 for 5 in last night's game. He figures to be out there in left field again on Friday afternoon. What with Mike Lacoste pitching, should John McNamara, depending upon how things go today and Friday, elect to throw Freddie Norman, a left-hander, at him on Saturday night, then that would probably mean that Bill Robinson would get the call in left. That is a platoon position for this Pirate ball club. Stargell at first. Milner takes the ball. During the year, John batted .276 with 16 home runs, and he drove in 60 runs. Stargell edging off the bag. Pastore checks him, sends a pitch onto the plate, swung on, fly ball hit back into left field. Foster drifting back, short of the warning track, makes a catch. One out. Here's third baseman Bill Madlock.
Marty, I think both ball clubs kind of hoping it stays overcast throughout the afternoon because of the shadows, and it's been in and out. The sun has, and as long as it's overcast, it's quite easy to pick up the baseball, or much easier, I guess we should say, than when the sun is out in the shadows and they get a glare off the turf. So I imagine both outfits hoping it stays cloudy all day.
Well, you got a couple of hard throwers out there when the shadows start to descend on that field. We've seen some fine pitch ball games in the past when games start at this time of the afternoon. Here's Bill Madlock now. He swings and grounds one to shortstop. Concepcion goes to Morgan. Morgan goes to Dreesen. Double play. That's the second double play the Reds have turned in as many games. No runs, no hits, and nobody left in the middle of inning number 2. Cincinnati nothing, and Pittsburgh likewise. If you weren't able to be at Riverfront for either of the League Championship Series games, here's how you can order your copy of the official Championship Series souvenir program. Send $1.75 plus $1 postage and handling to Cincinnati Reds playoff program, 100 Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45202. Residents of Ohio at 4.5% sales tax. The 60-page program is jammed with stories and pictures of all the Reds players. It even includes a 2-page color team picture. Get your souvenir of the National League Championship Series and order your game program right now. Here's that address once again. Send $1.75 plus $1 postage and handling to Cincinnati Reds playoff program, 100 Riverfront Stadium, Cincinnati. Jim Bibby against Dan Dreesen as we go to the home half of the second. Bibby stranding a couple of runners out in the first when Parker ran down Bench's ball in deep right center. Now he delivers to the left-handed batting Reds first baseman, and he bangs a first pitch into right field for a hit. So Danny Dreesen on with a leadoff single. That's the first hit of the afternoon. The batter will be Ray Knight. Well, he was 0 for 5 in the opener, so he's hoping to turn things around today. What a year he had. .318 average, 10 homers, and 79 runs batted in. During the year against the Pirates, Knight batted at .318, exactly as his seasonal average was. 14 hits and 44 times up. Bibby stretches, delivers. Knight takes a strike at the knees on the inside corner. Well, Joe Morgan was off and running in the first inning after drawing a walk and was easily able to steal on Bibby. Let's see what Danny Dreesen might be doing. Cesar Geronimo on deck. The Pirate infield at double play depth. And the outfield playing Knight straight away, throw to first. Dreesen stole 11 bases in 16 attempts during the season. Bibby taking his time. Here's the motion and the pitch. Dreesen running. Pitch is swung on. Line drive. Base hit center field. Danny takes a turn. He's coming to third. Here's Marino's throw. Not in time. Throw back across to first. Safe. Back-to-back base hits. And with Danny Dreesen moving on the pitch, he goes all the way around to third. And we may be getting some quick activity underway now in the Pirate bullpen. Left-hander Jim Rooker is slowly making his way down toward the far end of the dugout. And he's going to get up and start throwing to catcher Steve Nicosia. 2 on, nobody out. Cesar Geronimo up for the first time in this league championship series. Batted .239 during the year with 4 homers and 38 runs batted in. Well, the Reds with a major scoring threat here in the second. Bibby pitches. Geronimo takes strike one. Dreesen single to right. Ray Knight lines a single up the middle. Bibby with a pause and the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Strike two. Now the Pirates with their bullpen busy here in the second inning. Left-hander Jim Rooker. As Danny Dreesen stands at third. Ray Knight over at first. Geronimo behind 0-2. Bibby, a very deliberate worker on the mound with people on base. He's back to the plate, and Geronimo strikes out swinging. Oh, with 1 out, the batter will be Frank Pastore. It's the first strikeout of the game for Jim Bibby. Right now, Billy Madlock, Tim Foley, and Jim Bibby all conversing on the mound as Pastore comes to the plate for the first time in the game. Frank, during the year, had a total of 4 hits and 25 times up with a run batted in. And, of course, that RBI came down in Houston a week ago Sunday. That big 5-run inning the Reds had against Vern Rule and company en route to a 7-1 win. Well, Bibby a third of the way home after surrendering back-to-back hits to Danny Dreesen and Ray Knight. The infield up, looking for the ground ball. Madlock even with a bag at third, and Pastore swings and he misses. Russ Nixon flashing the sign from the third base coaching box. Tim Foley saying something to Madlock, and now Billy taking a couple of steps closer to the bag. That's low, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitcher against pitcher in the second inning. Jim Bibby against Frank Pastore as the rookie pitcher for the Reds tries to help his own cause. Marino playing him toward right field, and Parker favoring the line just a bit. And now Bibby goes into a stretch time call by first base umpire Jerry Dale. A ball apparently getting out of the Pirate bullpen where Jim Rooker's throwing. Bibby looking around, now directing his attentions back toward the plate. Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed. Fastball, and the count goes to a ball, 2 strikes. Well, if Frank Pastore can't do it, it's going to be up to Dave Collins. That strikeout that Bibby had against Cesar Geronimo, a big one. Batter and pitcher set. Here's a pitch. Swung on, and a fly ball hit into center field. Omar Marino makes the catch. Danny Dreesen tags up. He'll come in to score, and Pastore gets it done.
Marty, it looked like a breaking ball that Bibby got up, and the pitcher just loves that high one. He might not hit it, but if he does, that would be the one he hits. And in this case, it's exactly what Frank Pastore did, and we're on the scoreboard.
Reds take a 1-0 lead on Pastore's sacrifice fly. Here's Dave Collins for the second time. He lined out hard to Marino in the first inning. So Ray Knight, the lone base runner, he's over at first. Collins really stung the ball in the first inning. He takes a strike. Hey, it looked like it was going to be a bit of a nasty day when we woke up this morning, but it has really turned off nice. Right now the sun is shining brightly. The plate completely engulfed in shadow. The mound, or at least most of it, still in sunlight. Bibby checks Knight with a throw to first. Chuck Tanner credits a big turnaround for Jim Bibby, especially this season, to the work of Harvey Haddix, a Pirate pitching coach who was also the pitching coach when Jim Bibby was at Cleveland. Bibby has a great deal of faith in Harvey Haddix, and that faith has certainly paid off. Collins squares to bunt and did offer at it and did not get it. No balls and 2 strikes. Reds leading 1-0. Danny Dreesen with a base hit. Ray Knight with a single. After a Geronimo strikeout, Frank Pastore with a sacrifice fly to center. Oh, they're 2 down, and Collins is settling back into the batter's box to await the 2-strike pitch. Bibby with a sign and the pitch. That's just time for a ball. Of course, I'm sure you know the background if you're a baseball fan, the fact that Jim Bibby comes from quite an athletic family. He has a younger brother, Henry Bibby, who was a former All-American basketball player at UCLA, a longtime guard in the National Basketball Association. Older brother Jim right here in the big leagues. Ray Knight going, pitch is taken. There's a throw down to second, not in time. Tim Foley took the throw from Ed Ott and actually tagged Ray Knight high after Ray had gotten to the bag. So the Reds are 2 for 2 in the stolen base department.
Marty, I think Tim Foley felt that they had Ray Knight, but second base umpire Frank Foley said that Tim put the tag on Ray a little high up on the shoulder, and consequently Ray with a stolen base.
Count evens on Collins, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bibby a long time with a look into Ott and too much time to suit Collins. He backs away from the plate. Tim Rooker still throwing in the Pirate bullpen. Collins patiently waving the bat around, and now again steps out. So Bibby continually looking but not doing anything at the present time. Big right-hander, hands on knees, ready to go again. Checks Knight at second. 2-2 pitch to Collins. Swung on and missed. He struck him out with a breaking ball. And that's all for Collins in Cincinnati. But the Reds get 1 run on 2 base hits. No errors and 1 left, and at the end of 2 complete, the Reds won, the Pirates nothing. It'll be the bottom 3 batters in the Pittsburgh lineup here in the top half of the 3rd inning, and to lead it off will be Ed Ott, and with the play-by-play, here's Joe Nuxall.
Thank you, Marty. Ott, Garner, and Bibby as the Pirates batting at top of the 3rd inning. Ott in last night's game had 1 hit in 5 times to the plate. Frank Pastore, with the help of the double play in the 2nd inning, hit into by Bill Madlock, has faced a minimum of 6 batters through the first 2 innings. Walked Willie Stargell in the 2nd leading off. Milner a fly ball to left, and Madlock hit into the 6-4-3 double play. The Reds lead it 1-0. Waiting on Ed Ott, a left-handed batter, to make his way to the plate. Pastore rubbing up the baseball, and Ott out of the Pirate dugout. Frank has struck out 1. He struck out Dave Parker to end the 1st inning. Ott, Garner, and Bibby will step to the plate here in the 3rd. Reds with a 1-0 lead. Ott steps into the batter's box, and Pastore looks into Johnny Bench for the sign. Well, he winds and delivers, and Ott takes it outside and high, ball 1. Frank has walked 1, as we said, and has struck out 1. Outfield for Ott straight away. Ray Knight well off the line at 3rd. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, bounced up the middle. Morgan behind the bag. He gets the throw away in time, and a close play, and good play by Joe Morgan. Joe going away from the first base bag and throwing across his body and just nipping Ed Ott. A 1 away, and Phil Garner the batter. Garner with a home run last night. Morgan might have had some problems getting the ball out of his glove. Garner had 2 hits last night and an intentional walk. A 1 away. Garner steps in. Phil hit .293 during the regular season. Pastore into the wind, the pitch. Fastball swung on, ground ball. Morgan at second has it. Going on to Dreesen, quickly 2 away. That'll bring pitcher Jim Bibby to the plate. Bibby, 6'5", 250 pounds. Height-wise, reminds you of Gene Conley, who pitched for the Milwaukee Braves years ago, and Gene not quite as heavy. The pitch to Bibby is taken high a ball. 2 out, bases empty. Bibby a right-handed batter. Pastore delivers, Bibby takes, and that's ball 2 low. 2-0 the count to Jim Bibby as he looks down to Joe Launette, the Pirate third base coach. Bibby had 2 home runs this year, and ball 3 inside, and the 178 batting average. So Pastore 3-0 to Jim Bibby. Pastore a deep breath, and the 3-0 pitch. That's a strike call. 3-1. One delivery, low and outside, ball 4, and Jim Bibby draws the second walk issued by Frank Pastore. He'll get his windbreaker and head on to first base, and Omar Marino the batter. Marino leading off the game, grounded to Morgan at second base. Now Bench talking with Pastore midway between the mound and the plate. Marino last night had 1 hit in 5 times up. Had a triple in the 3rd inning and scored the second run of the game for the Pirates. He was called out on strikes twice, once in the 8th and again in the 10th. Well, 2 out. Bibby at first base. Danny Dreesen playing behind Bibby. Marino at the plate, a left-handed batter. Pastore sets and delivers. Marino swings, fly ball, left field. George Foster waiting on it, and he has it, and that's the inning. For the Pirates in the third, no runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left on base. Middle of the third, Reds 1, Pirates nothing. Reds with 2 hits off Bibby. He has walked 2, struck out 1. 1 run the Reds have was driven in by Frank Pastore with a sacrifice fly that scored Danny Dreesen in the second inning. Joe Morgan to lead it off. Joe last night 0 for 4 in a walk. Reds leading 1-0 and hoping to put some more on the scoreboard here in the third. Bibby looking to his catcher out, has the sign and delivers to Morgan. Joe takes it high and outside, ball 1. Bibby a right-hander, won 12 and lost 4 during the regular season and led the National League in winning percentage. His 1-0 delivery. Morgan takes a strike. Breaking ball, and it's 1-1. To be at a .750 winning percentage. Lead the National League pitchers. He's a ball a strike with Morgan. The wind, the pitch. Breaking pitch, strike 2 call. A good slider over the inside edge, and the count goes 1-2 to Morgan. He's starting through the lineup for the second time. He delivers the 1-2, and Morgan swings, and a fly ball into shallow left center field. Going out is Tim Foley, and in medium left center, Foley makes the play. On away, Dave Concepcion, the batter. Dave a fly ball to Parker in right field in the first inning. Dave career high in runs scored, home runs, and RBIs. He had 16 home runs, 84 RBIs for the year. Dave scored 91 runs. Bibby delivers, and a breaking ball is a bit low, ball 1. Well, Steve had eyes on the club record for shortstops in RBIs held by Eddie Miller. 87, the pitch. Strike called. Fastball, 1-1. Off day tomorrow, and then we resume activities at Three River Stadium Friday night. Bibby's 1-1 delivery. Swung on, fly ball, left field. Drifting back, Milner. He's to the warning track, looking up to the fence, and off the wall. On his way to second is Dave Concepcion. Marino backing up the play, and I think Davey thought that one was out of here. The ball hitting high off the fence, just to the left of the 375 sign in left center field. So Davey thought he had one there. Winds up a double. He's at second base, and the batter is George Foster. That's the third hit of the game for the Reds, and George Foster steps in. Foster walked in the first inning. George with that 2-run homer last night in the fourth inning. A real shot out of here in center field, the first row of green seats. They have some activity in the Pirate bullpen. Jim Rooker will start throwing again. Concepcion at second. 1 away. Maybe the stretch, the pitch to Foster. George takes a breaking ball that's a bit low, ball 1. Left-hander Jim Rooker throwing in the Pirate bullpen. Concepcion at second. Bibby looks to head out for the sign. Nods the okay, the stretch. Looks back at Concepcion and delivers. Foster takes a breaking pitch that gets the outside edge. A called strike. 1-1. Johnny Bench waits on deck. Reds leading 1-0. Scored a run in the second inning. here with Concepcion at second base and one out and Foster at the plate. There'd be a ball to strike with George. It'd be to the belt. 1-1 delivery. Fastball is high, and it's 2-1. Reds with 3 hits in the game. Outfield plays Foster straight away. Marino very deep in center, as is Milner in left and Parker in right. Bibby's 2-1 offering is on the outside edge, a called strike, and it evens at 2-2. Bibby not a quick worker. Shakes off a sign from Ott. Now nods the okay and the stretch. And the 2-2 pitch. Foster takes it low and outside. Full count to George. They be away from the pitching rubber. Now Foster backs out of the batter's box as Bibby steps back to the pitching rubber and waits on Foster to step back in. George is there, and Ott hangs the sign. Concepcion leads at second. Bibby nods the okay. He's to the belt, looks back at David, the pitch. Low and outside, a breaking ball, and that's the third walk issued by Jim Bibby, and that'll bring Johnny Bench to the plate. The runners at first and second and one out. John was at the plate in the first inning with runners first and second and 2 out, and hit a long drive to right center field that Dave Parker was able to run down a step from the fence. Right now, Tim Foley is in to talk with Bibby, and just to remind him who will take the throw at second base should the ball be hit back to him. Well, we got Concepcion at second, Foster at first. Bibby ready to work to Bench. The stretch, the pitch. There goes Concepcion to throw down to third to got him. Well, Davey trying to steal third, and they throw him out easily. Ott to Madlock. 2-5, 2 out. Pitch to Bench out of the strike zone, and it's a ball, no strikes. So Davey thinking he could steal third, and well, the rule of baseball is you don't go unless you're absolutely sure you can make it. Well, 2 away now, and Bibby ready to deliver to Bench the 1-0 pitch. John takes it on the outside corner, a breaking ball, a called strike, 1-1. Foster at first base. Jim Bibby sets and delivers. Bench swings and pops it up in the infield. Willie Stargell moving down the first baseline, calling for it, and he has it. That's the inning. The Reds in the third, no runs, a hit, no errors, a runner left on base, and at the end of 3, Cincinnati 1, Pittsburgh nothing. All right, Frank Pastore waiting on the sign from Bench. And he delivers to Tim Foley, and Foley swings and loops one into right field, a base hit. Well, Pastore jamming Tim Foley, but he drops it into right for the first hit of the game for Pittsburgh, and Dave Parker the batter. Parker struck out on a 2-2 pitch in the first inning. Now these next 2 gentlemen for the Pirates, Parker and Stargell, I'll tell you, they're awesome sights, as Mr. Fisher would say, Bill Fisher. Awesome sights. Parker had 25 home runs for the year and drove in 94. Pastore the stretch, And the pitch. Parker swings and lines it over the leaping Concepcion into left field. Foster cuts it off, and Foley will hold at second base. So back-to-back singles, and Parker hit a frozen rope, and Davey almost got to it. Well, the first two have reached here in the fourth inning for Pittsburgh. Foley drops a single into right, and Parker shoots a bullet over the head of Concepcion into left. That brings Willie Stargell to the plate. Stargell, as we said, walked leading off the second inning. John Milner, the on-deck batter. Foley at second base, Parker at first base. Pastore delivers to Stargell, and he swings and fouls down the left side and back into the seats. 0-1. Not a lot of breathing room in the Pirate lineup at all when you start with Marino and go right to Phil Garner. Activity in the Reds bullpen. Charlie Liebrandt and Manny Sarmiento throwing. Pastore to the belt. Checks Foley at second, delivers. Stargell swings, fly ball, left field. Foster going back, still going back, and he misplayed that one. Should have caught it easy, and that'll load the bases. Now we got Stargell hung up, nobody at first base, and Willie on his way back, going to Dreesen. They got him. Well, Tim Foley, thinking that Foster would catch that ball all the way, which he should have done, but we get a lucky break, and Willie Stargell not heads up base running, and the play goes from Foster to Concepcion to Dreesen, and we might tell you that Dave Concepcion threw a nice pass to Danny Dreesen, so to speak. George Foster should have stuck that ball in his hip pocket. But we get a lucky break out of it. Foley moves to third. Parker's at second base, and credit Stargell with a base hit. And he is out from Foster to Concepcion to Dreesen. One away. John McNamara has been to the mound to talk with Bench, Pastore, Concepcion, and Knight. John Milner, the batter, and we'll see what Mac decides to do with him. With the right-handed batter, Bill Madlock, on deck, and they're going to intentionally pass Milner to get to Bill Madlock. That's ball two to Milner. This will put Milner at first base. Parker at second and Foley at third. Bill Madlock in the second inning grounded into a Concepcion to Morgan to Dreesen double play. Be the third walk issued by Frank Pastore. Milner moves on to first base. Bill Madlock steps in. Bill on the season hit .298, 14 home runs, and 85 RBIs. A right-handed batter, Madlock. Reds infield, double play depth. Pastore will work from the stretch. He sets and delivers. Madlock takes the pitch over the outside edge, a called strike. Frank steps back off the pitching rubber, and apparently a bee on his left shoulder as he brushes it away. 0-1 the count to Bill Madlock. Pirates with the bases loaded and one out. Now Frank will rub up the baseball a bit. Lee Brandt and Sarmiento throwing in the Reds bullpen. Bruce Keeson getting in some throwing down in the Pittsburgh bullpen. Here's another bit of 6-4-3 action right here. Pastore sets the 0-1. Madlock takes it just off the plate outside, and that evens the count at a ball, a strike. Lang taking his time. Checks in with Bench. And the stretch. 1-1 delivery. Swung on, bounce to Concepcion. That's going to have to be in a hurry, and he won't get it done this time. Run scores, Foley scores as they force Milner at second base. That ball not hit all that hard, and Morgan tried to turn it, but Madlock gets down the line fairly well. So 2 away now as Parker moves on to third. Foley scoring. Milner out. On the force out. Concepcion to Morgan. 2 away. Madlock at first base, and the batter is Ed Ott. Credit Bill Madlock with an RBI. Tied up 1-1. Ott in the third inning leading off, grounded to Morgan at second base. Left-handed batter, Ott. Pastore works. Ott takes a strike on the outside edge. Bill Madlock will run. He had 2 stolen bases last night. Stole a base in the second and again in the 11th. Pitch to Ott. Swung on and bounced slowly at Concepcion. Charging, running through. Got him. Boy, Davey, I'll tell you, had to hustle to get Ott on that one. So in the inning, the Pirates get a run on 3 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base. The middle of the 4th. It's the Reds 1, the Pirates 1. Tied up 1-1 as the Reds bat in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Danny Dreesen will lead it off, and then it'll be Ray Knight and Cesar Geronimo. Dreesen led off the 2nd inning with a single to right, moved to third on a base hit to center off the bat of Ray Knight, and scored on Frank Pastore's fly ball to center field. And he on the year at .250 with 18 home runs and 75 RBIs. Last night, Dreesen 0 for 4 against Candelaria and other Pirate pitchers. The Reds have had 3 hits off Bibby. 2 of them coming in that 2nd inning off the bats of Dreesen and Knight. The other, Concepcion's double high off the wall in the 3rd in deep left center field. But Danny Dreesen will lead it off. Here at Riverfront this afternoon, the sun in and out of the clouds. Right now it's overcast. Sun behind the cloud. As mentioned, when the sun is out, it's very difficult for the hitters to pick up the baseball. Now Dreesen steps in. Jim Bivey ready to work. He delivers the first pitch, and Danny swings and fouls back to the screen. Pirates winning in the 11 last night, 5-2. A big shot, a 3-run homer off the bat of Willie Stargell. 0-1 pitch. Up, make it a strike, and a fastball. 0-2 to Dreesen. Ray Knight on deck. Maybe he delivers the 0-2. That swung on and bounced to Garner. Bill off to his left, has it, throwing to Stargell, 1 out. One away, Ray Knight, the batter. Ray, as we said, lined a single to center in the 2nd inning. Cesar Geronimo, the on-deck batter. Well, Bibby now swinging at a bug or a bee or something. Jim down behind the mound, now back up to the pitching rubber. Bibby works from the far right of the pitching rubber, first base side. Curveball is swung on. That's popped up the infield, and Willie Stargell moving toward the mound. He has it 2 away.
Number 20, the center fielder, Cesar Geronimo.
2 out, Cesar Geronimo, the batter. Geronimo struck out in the second inning with runners at first and third. Bibby has the sign from Ott and delivers to Geronimo. Cesar takes a fastball high, ball 1. 1-1. The Reds scoring in the second. The Pirates putting one on the boards in the top half of the fourth. Bibby the 1-0. Geronimo looks at it low and inside, and it's 2 balls, no strikes to Geronimo. Bibby winds, delivers, swung on and missed. Fastball down around the knees, 2-1. Pirate outfield plays Geronimo straight away. Jim Bibby, the 2-1. Strike 2 call in the outside edge, and the count evens 2-2. Bibby has his sign, and the 2-2 delivery. Swung on, a foul tip into the mid of Ed Ott, and that's the inning. That's the second strikeout for Bibby, and both have come at Geronimo's expense. So after 4 here in the second game of the championship playoffs, it's the Reds 1, the Pirates 1. 4-inning totals show the Pirates a run, 3 hits, no errors. The Reds a run, 3 hits, no errors. For Pittsburgh, Phil Garner will lead off the 5th. And back with the play-by-play, Marty Brenneman.
Thank you, Joe. Garner's 0 for 1. He batted in the 3rd and grounded out to Joe Morgan. So Frank Pastore able to wade through a problematical 4th. And the Pirates had him loaded after the intentional walk to John Milner with only 1 out. On the slow roller off the bat of Madlock, Pirates tied it up, and then he got Garner, or Ott, on the slow ground ball that Dave Concepcion made a nice play on to end the inning. Garner, Bibby, and Marino here in the top of the 5th. And a big house here today, and the crowd last night of 55,006. The 6th largest in Riverfront Stadium history and the 2nd largest in League Championship Series play. Garner drives one into right center, and Collins, did he get it? No, sir, says the umpire at second. Frank Pulley ruling that Dave Collins trapped the ball. Phil Garner's going to be on with a base hit, and now Joe Morgan arguing with Frank Pulley as Dave Collins runs in from right field. John McNamara also out there.
Marty, I really believe he caught that ball. Max out, and Collins, boy, I'll tell you, he jumped up right away, and Mac, they're trying to get Collins away from Frank Pulley, and Pulley explaining to McNamara, but when Dave caught the ball, he kind of rolled over, and it looked like his glove turned over a little bit, and this is probably where Pulley thought he dropped the ball. And Mac's right up in Pulley's face right now. But I really believe he caught the baseball. Mac getting a little more heated as he goes on, and
well, Frank Pulley trying to calm John McNamara down, and honestly, I don't know what kind of a view Frank Pulley had, because he was still in the progress of getting out there when Collins went down to the turf and tumbled over. So they've got the entire infield. In fact, everybody on the Reds club is out around second base with the exception of Bench and Pastore and George Foster, arguing the call that will be scored a base hit for Phil Garner.
Marty, it's interesting when you think of 6 umpires, whether John Kibler has a part in the decision as far as whether he caught the ball if John had a better angle than Frank Pulley, but it's going to stand the way it looks, and Mac's getting just a little more hot under the collar as he goes along with Frank Pulley.
Well, Frank Pastore will throw on down to Johnny Bench of Pirates in the first controversial call of this league championship series. Have Phil Garner at first base with a single as the argument continues. Full force out behind second base. John McNamara with no intention at all of leaving. As now John Kibler and Jerry Dale come to the rescue of Frank Pulley. Pulley walking away. Mac now turns his back, gives him another parting shot. And the argument apparently is over. He caught that ball. Now Mac now talking to the plate umpire Ed Montague and pointing an accusing finger at Frank Pulley.
Well, Marty, you know, a glove that Davey uses, it's a web and it's open somewhat, and I think maybe the Pulley saw the wire of the ball in that webbing and thought he had dropped the ball, but there's no way in this world that he did not catch the baseball.
Well, John heading on back to the Cincinnati dugout. I don't think you're going to have a league championship series or a World Series without a play just like that. Not so much the exact play, but a controversial call that at times can really turn a situation around. The Pirates get a break as Frank Pulley rules that Collins trapped the ball out in right center. Jim Bibby, no doubt, will be up trying to advance a runner into scoring position as Ray Knight comes in shallow at third base. Base hit number 4 for Pittsburgh in this 1-1 game. Here's a pitch to Bibby. He bunts third base side, and here's Ray Knight looking to second. He throws to first and almost threw it away. Joe Morgan was there. He had to go to foul ground to grab the throw and then reach back with his right foot and get the bag. So a 5-4 sacrifice moves Garner to second as we go back to the top of the Pirate batting order for Omar Marino. Marino will be up for the third time. He's bounced to second. He's flied to left. We'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
Hello there, this is Mike Weber. Win a year of cost-free living in the best year of your life, 1980, on WLW Cincinnati.
The newest Cincinnati Reds art print is entitled The Sluggers, and it features George Foster and Ted Kluszewski. Limited edition lithograph prints are on display and available at the Reds 580 gift shop in downtown Cincinnati.
Omar Marino with Phil Garner at second base. One out here in the top of the 5th inning. Pastore kicks and throws. Marino fouls it off. Strike one. Reds scored first in this game in the 2nd inning after singles by Dreesen and Knight. A one-out sacrifice fly by Pastore. The Pirates tied it up in the 4th inning. When Billy Madlock grounded slowly to shortstop, the Reds got a force out, unable to get the double play as Foley came in to tie it up. Now Marino trying to get Garner home from second as Pastore sends in the strike one pitch. Swung on and hit into center field. Geronimo drifting to his right, makes a catch. Garner tags, but he'll hold at second. 2 out. That'll bring up Tim Foley. Know a big Reds fan who's living outside of Cincinnati? Send him a Reds souvenir from the Reds official 580 gift shop and help him celebrate the Reds Western Division Championship. Foley 1 for 2 with that run scored. Charlie Leibrandt for the 2nd time heads down to the Pirate bullpen to begin loosening up. The left-hander, what with the likes of Parker and Stargell and Milner coming up in a row after Tim Foley. Long look back to second. Pitch to Foley taken at the knees on the inside corner for a strike. Foley so far batting .500 in this league championship series. The 0-1 to him, swung on and fouled off. The count goes to 2 strikes. You know, it's interesting to think where the Pirates might have ended up in the Eastern Division had they not picked up Foley early, and Billy Madlock really solidified the left side of that infield. Third base had been a problem position for him. Frank Taveras, their shortstop for quite a few years, had been very erratic in the field. Foley pulls it foul off third. All of a sudden, with the coming of these two gentlemen, they really took off. Foley, who had always had the reputation of being a quote-unquote bad actor in terms of throwing temper tantrums when he was coming up through the New York Mets organization, and in the early years of his major league career really settled down after coming over to the Pirates. And boy, what a job he did. 2 strikes to count on him with Garner at second. Up high and inside, Pastore is with a fastball. Pirates will be flying back to Pittsburgh tonight. Reds will be leaving tomorrow morning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To the waiting Tim Foley. Here's a pitch. He lines one by Ray Knight down the left field line. That's going to send the Pirates out in front. Onto the plate comes Phil Garner. Tim Foley coasts into second base, and Pittsburgh takes a 2-1 lead. So Pittsburgh out in front on a 2-out double to left field by Foley. Base hit number 5 for the Pirates, and that keeps the inning going for Dave Parker. Parker has struck out. He has also singled to left center. Johnny Bench running out to the mound to talk with Frank. Of course, John McNamara would like for Pastore to be able to get through this inning because he is scheduled to lead off the bottom of the 5th. Possibly mean we'll see a pinch hitter. So Garner singles on a controversial ruling by second base umpire Frank Pulley. He ruled that Dave Collins trapped the ball. Bibby moves a runner to second with a bunt after Marino flies out. Foley rips a double down the left field line, and Pittsburgh leads 2-1. Here's Parker, and here's Pastore. Strike call on the outside corner. Outfield playing the left-handed batter deep. Pitch. Swung on, bouncing ball up the middle, but Dave Concepcion has it behind second. Throws him out, and that's all for the Pirates. Pittsburgh, however, jumps out in front. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 4.5, the Pirates 2 and the Reds 1. Scoreboard stumper, who holds a major league record for the most stolen bases in a league championship series? Frank Pastore will bat for himself as we go to the bottom of the 5th. He's responsible for the run that the Reds scored in the second inning. He had a sacrifice fly to center field, driving home Danny Dreesen. He swings and fouls off Bibby's first pitch. That's taken high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bibby has struck out 3. He has walked 3. 2 walks in the first inning to Morgan and Foster, and a walk to Foster in the third. 1-1 pitch. That's taken low. A fastball. 2-1. Both bullpens have been quite active here in the early going. The Pirates have had Jim Rooker up a couple of times. John McNamara has dispatched Manny Sarmiento once, Charlie Lee Brandt twice to the bullpen. Bibby kicks and he fires. Pastore swings and lofts a fly ball foul out of play to the right. 2-2. Bibby at one point this season had a 6-game winning streak. He went into the starting rotation on the 10th of July, won that night, and started the streak that ran through August 13th. 3 balls and 2 strikes. He beat the Phillies twice, got the Braves a couple of times, Montreal and Houston in the winning streak. He led National League pitchers with that .750 winning percentage, going 12 wins and 4 losses. Ball 4. Frank Pastore walks to begin the 5th inning. Dave Collins is lined to center. He is struck out. Harvey Haddock's a Pirate pitching coach, slowly making his way toward the mound as Jim Rooker once again will start to throw, along with right-hander Enrique Romo. And while that meeting takes place on the mound, Dave Collins will cover some ground with third base coach Russ Nixon.
Marty, you'd have to think Harvey is talking about the way Bibby pitched to Pastore, trying to just make perfect pitches to the pitcher, so he doesn't want him to get in a wild streak, and certainly go out and try to settle him down before anything big happens.
Of course, Harvey Haddock's in Ohio and what lives up near Springfield, right in the heart of Reds country. Oh, he's back to the dugout, and Bibby will now contend with Dave Collins as Rooker and Romo once again get it going for Pittsburgh. Pastore with a jacket on down at first. The Reds are looking at a 1-run deficit. Could ill afford to lose this one and go to Pittsburgh for Game 3 Friday afternoon, down 2-0. Pirates won the opener 5-2 in 11 last night. Here's a pitch to Collins. He squares to bunt, takes a strike as Madlock and Stargell both charge the corners. Reds saw Bibby twice during the season, but both were in relief roles. He had a victory over Cincinnati. 4 innings total, gave up 5 hits and a run with 5 strikeouts and a walk, so he's starting against the Reds for the first time this season. Collins bunts back toward the mound. Bibby's got a play at second, and he throws out Pastore easily. Bibby on to Tim Foley for the forced play at second. One away in the inning, and here's Joe Morgan. He walked and stole a base in the first inning and then popped up to Foley in the third. Oh, we'll keep a watchful eye now on Dave Collins to see whether or not he'll try to take advantage of that big slow kick to the plate. Reds have attempted a couple of stolen bases today, make it 3. They've gone 2 for 3. Concepcion was thrown out trying to steal third in the third inning, but Morgan and Knight have successfully stolen. Joe looking for his first base hit. Here's a pitch. Swung on, fly ball. Right center field. Omar Marino waves Parker off, and the center fielder gathers it in. 2 out. Dave Concepcion up for the third time. He's 1 for 2 after flying out his first time up. He doubled off the wall in left center in the third inning. Offense has been the problem for the Reds over the last couple of weeks, and they are again being struck by it here today with a total of only 3 hits. Last hit being Concepcion's third inning double. Bibby checking over his left shoulder, turns and throws to first. Collins back. Reds got a run in the second. Pittsburgh with single runs in the fourth and fifth. 2 runs, 5 hits, 1 run, 3 hits. Another throw to first. Collins now calls time. He'll go to foul territory and dust himself off. Bibby, all 6 feet 5 inches of him and 250 pounds. Bends down to the rosin bag now. Just off to the first base side of the pitching rubber as Concepcion settles back in to await his first pitch. Twice Bibby has gone to first, trying to keep Dave Collins close. Here's a pitch with Collins going. Taken for a strike. Throw down to second base. It goes through, but Phil Garner was there to back it up, and Dave Collins has a steal. Collins with his second stolen base in the series. Pitch was in for a strike to Dave Concepcion. So the Reds continue to keep Jim Bibby pitching under pressure, but to his credit, he's been able to get the job done up to this point, leading by a run, and a good job by Phil Garner right there, backing up as Ed Otzthrow got through Tim Foley covering. Otherwise, Dave Collins could be standing at third base right now. Tying run in scoring position, 2 out. Reds need a 2-out base hit here, as the Pirates got in the top half of the inning from Tim Foley. Davey swings and hits a fly ball to right. That should be the inning as Parker camps and makes a catch. So in the 5th for Cincinnati, no runs, 1 no hits, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 5 complete, the Pirates 2 and the Reds 1. With Joe Nuxall, Marty Brenneman back at Riverfront Stadium as we are smack dab in the middle of game number 2 of the '79 National League Championship Series. Pirates up 2-1. It'll be Willie Stargell, John Milner, and Bill Madlock here in the 6th. And the answer to today's scoreboard stumper question, the Major League record for most stolen bases in a league championship series, well, that's held by Joe Morgan. He stole 4 bases against the Pirates back in 1975. Stargell has been on both times. He has walked, he has singled, but then got trapped out at second base after he drove one off the wall back in the 4th inning following singles by Foley and Parker. When the ball was returned to Dave Concepcion, there stood Parker and Stargell at second base, and Davey threw on to Danny Dreesen to get Stargell coming back. Pastore brings it to the plate, and Stargell bounces one to second baseman Joe Morgan. Almost fell down, throwing, he got him. Joe slipped as he planted to throw, but was able to recover in time to get Stargell. John Milner 0 for 1 with an intentional walk. Friday afternoon, we'll be coming to you from Three Rivers in Pittsburgh, game number 3. Mike Lacoste, 14-game winner during the season, will face a yet-to-be-announced Pirates starter, in all likelihood Bert Blyleven or Bruce Keeson. Strike call. Chuck Tanner's been playing a little cat-and-mouse game so far here in the series. Here's a high fly ball. Shallow center, backpedaling Concepcion, calling, got it, 2 out. We'll bring up Bill Madlock. Chuck not announcing who his opening game starter was going to be until the Pirates arrived here in town on Monday for the workout, which of course they missed because they got fogged in Pittsburgh. They were scheduled to work out early afternoon Monday, but never did get on the AstroTurf here at Riverfront. Madlock takes an up and in breaking ball. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI. Bases loaded in the 4th inning at a slow high hopper to Dave Concepcion as Foley scored. He sends one in the air to center field, and Frank Pastore is going to enjoy an easy 6th inning as Geronimo pulls it down. The Pirates go out quickly. 3 up and 3 down through 5.5. Buccos 2, Reds 1. Now it'll be Foster, Bench, Dreesen, and hopefully more. 6th time up for the Reds against Jim Bibby, who's been touched for only a run on 3 hits. And we've got a defensive change for the Pittsburgh Pirates in left field. Bill Robinson has replaced John Milner. Robinson will be batting in the number 5 slot, formerly held by Milner. Foster yet to get an official at bat today. He's walked twice. and has now walked a total of 4 times. Twice last night, twice today. Reds looking for their first hit since Concepcion's 3rd inning double. Had 2 hits and a run in the 2nd on singles by Dreesen and Knight. Double by Concepcion in the 3rd, and no hits since then. Well, Bibby has settled down just a bit. Reds have left 5 men on base. The Pirates have stranded 4. Bibby with a pitch, and Foster takes ball 1. Swing and a foul into Ott Smith. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, the ball has stayed in the park today. We had 3 rocketed out of here last night. Phil Garner and Stargell for the Pirates, and Foster with that prodigious shot to straightaway center field with a man on base. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foster steps away from the plate. Bibby to the wind, the pitch. Swung on, that's foul back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jim Bibby trying to protect a 1-run lead. 2-1 Pirates here in the 6th inning. Foster checks his swing on a breaking pitch down and away. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bench on deck. This crowd here wanting something to get excited about. Foster and Bibby, 2 fellows who take their good time between pitches. Foster back in and waiting on the 2-2 pitch. Bibby with a long look to Ott. Now the slow nod of the head. Here's a pitch. Struck him out swinging. Bibby got him with a curveball, and Jim has his 4th strikeout. Bench takes it away. Ball 1. With a strikeout of Foster, Bibby is now fanned 4 and walked 4. And really, none of the walks have come back to haunt him. 2 in the 1st. Walk Foster in the 3rd, but Pop Bench up for the final out. Walk Pastore leading off the 5th. Reds couldn't take advantage of it. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. You really wonder where the offense has gone. One to count on Johnny Bench. He grounds one off the end of the bat to Foley. The shortstop deals to Stargell. 2 out. Danny Dreesen owns 1 of the 3 hits. He singled in the 2nd to lead off, came in to score, and grounded out in the 4th. This will be the first time that Dreesen has not let off an inning. I'd like to send along our best today to Reds fans listening on WCHS in Charleston, West Virginia, WMNI in Columbus, Ohio, WTKC in Lexington, Kentucky, and on WTHI in Terre Haute, Indiana. Madlock and Bibby have a quick word before Big Jim works to Danny Dreesen. Well, Dan 1 for 2 today and 1 for 6 so far in the series. Swung on and a foul of the screen. Strike 1. Bibby has retired the Reds in order only 1 time. That was the 4th when he got Dreesen, Knight, and Geronimo. But has struck out Foster, gotten Bench on a ground out to short. He misses up high, and it's a ball and a strike to Danny. Tomorrow a travel day. No activity in this series until Friday afternoon in Pittsburgh. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good fastball. Oh, we'll play Friday afternoon if necessary. A night game on Saturday. And then should a fifth game be required, that would be played on Sunday afternoon. So the remaining games after this one will be played in Pittsburgh. Two balls, two strikes. Well, things slated, of course, to wind up in both leagues on Sunday. An off day on Monday, and then the World Series would open up in the American League Park next Tuesday. The National League team would get the three middle games in the World Series. Ball 3, 3-2. Next Tuesday and Wednesday in the American League, then an off day on Thursday. Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the National League Park. An off day the following Monday, and then games 6 and 7, if necessary, back to the American League. String is out on Dreesen. He hits one into left center field. Bill Robinson heads toward the warning track, stops short, and makes a catch. So the Reds go out 1-2-3. We've completed 6, and the Pirates lead Cincinnati 2-1. Well, we move to the final 3 innings of play in this one. 2-1. The Pirates have the advantage over Cincinnati, and Frank Pastore, who has pitched very well for himself today, will be facing Ed Ott to start it off. And back with a play-by-play, here's Joe Nuxall.
Thank you, Marty. Ott, Garner, and Bibby as the Pirates bat here in the 7th inning. Ott 0 for 2 has grounded to Morgan and has grounded to Concepcion in his 2 times to the plate. Well, Frank Pastore has pitched very, very well this afternoon. Had a tough call in the 5th inning when Collins caught the line drive off the bat of Garner, but second base umpire Frank Pulley said he did not. Ott swings and lines one by Dreesen into right field, a base hit. Collins over and returns it to the infield. That is hit number 6 for Pittsburgh off Pastore. And Phil Garner, the batter. Garner grounded to second in the 3rd, and then the controversial base hit in the 5th inning. So eventually scored the go-ahead run and a double by Tim Foley. Bibby sacrificed Garner to second. Marino a fly ball to center, and then Foley's double along the left field line to score Garner from second base. Pastore retired the Pirates in order in the 6th. Starcher, Milner, and Madlock. Pastore ready. Delivers to Garner, and Phil takes it inside a ball. Doug Bear and Dave Tomlin throwing in the Reds bullpen. Pirates leading 2-1 as they bat here in the 7th inning. Ed Ott led off the inning with a single to right. Pastore throws over to first, and Ott steps back. Pastore again the stretch. And the pitch. That swung on and hit into left field. Foster has it. 1 away. Mike George might have been having some problems with the sun. On top of that, the lights are now on here at Riverfront. A 1 out, Jim Bibby, the batter. Chuck Tanner had a few words with Bibby while Garner was at the plate. Let's see if Jim will be bunting. Omar Marino, the on-deck batter. Ott at first base, 1 out, and now Bibby looks to Joe Launette, the third base coach of the Pirates. Steps back into the batter's box. Pastore the stretch. And Bibby squares the bunt, does in front of the plate. Bench up for the ball, and he'll have to go to first to Morgan to get Bibby as the sacrifice works. Ott moving on to second base. So Bibby out 2-4. Bench to Morgan. He gets his second sacrifice bunt of the afternoon, and with 2 out, Omar Marino the batter. And John McNamara out of the Reds dugout. That might be it for Frank Pastore. Tomlin and Bear throwing in the Reds bullpen. Now Mac just talking with Pastore and bench, and Ray Knight walks over. And let's see what John decides to do. Pirates with Ed Ott at second base and 2 out. Left-handed batter Omar Marino will be the batter. And now plate umpire Ed Montague walks out to the mound, and they're going to leave Pastore in the ball game. McNamara back to the Reds dugout. Marino 0 for 3. Has grounded to second, hit a fly ball to left and a fly ball to center in his 3 times up. Pastore ready to work to Marino. The stretch and the pitch. Swung on and foul. The fastball, that's back and into the seats. Bear, Tomlin in the Reds bullpen, both ready. Ott at second base, a good lead. Davey Concepcion will try to get him a step back, but he takes a step further lead. The pitch swung on, that's fouled, backing out of play. The Pastore in front, 0-2 to Omar Marino. Pirates leading 2-1. With 2 out and the count 0-2 to Marino. Ed Ott at second base. Pastore has the sign. The 0-2 pitch, high and outside with a fastball. 1-2. Marino asks for time. Now is set up again. Pastore looks into bench. And the stretch. Looks back at Ott. The 1-2 pitch. High and outside. Fastball. 2-2 now to Omar Marino. Shortstop Tim Foley waiting on deck with 2 out. Pastore has struck out 1 and has walked 3 this afternoon. Pirates have had 6 hits. Pastore to the belt. 2-2 delivery. Swung on. That's line to left field. A base hit. Charging the ball. Foster. Here comes Ott. Here comes Foster's throw to the plate. They got him. No contest as George throws a strike to Johnny Bench. So Marino singles to left, but Ott is out on a strong throw from George Foster to Johnny Bench to end the inning. For the Pirates, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. And at the middle of the 7th, Pittsburgh 2, Cincinnati 1. Well, we need a run to get even, and it'll be Ray Knight to lead it off in the 7th against Jim Bibby. The Reds have had just 3 hits off Bibby, and 2 of those hits coming in the 2nd inning when they scored their run. Since the 2nd, the 1 other hit we had is Dave Concepcion's 1 out double in the 3rd inning. Ray Knight 1 for 2. He singled in the 2nd, stole 2nd. Then in the 4th inning, popped out to Willie Stargell at first base. Well, Dave Tomlin throwing in the Reds bullpen. And that means a pinch hitter for Frank Pastore. Enrique Romo throwing in the Pirate bullpen, and it looks like Grant Jackson will start throwing along with Romo. The Pirates lead it 2-1. They scored their runs, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th. The Reds 1 run coming back in the 2nd inning. Ray Knight Knight, who hit .318 during the regular season. 1 for 2 this afternoon. Ball out of the Reds bullpen as time is called, and Knight steps in. Bibby checks his defense and now looks into Ed Ott for the sign. Outfield straightaway tonight. Bibby winds and delivers. Knight swings and fouls. Out of play, right side, back into the seats. On 1 the count to Ray. Jackson and Romo throwing in the Pirate bullpen. Dave Tomlin throwing in the Reds bullpen. Bibby. A 0-1 delivery. Knight looks at a fastball, a called strike, and Jim Bibby in front 0-2 to Ray Knight. Bibby not a quick worker at all. Now has the sign and the 0-2. Knight swings, lines it into right center field, a base hit. Walker over, good play. Parker cuts it off, and that holds Knight to a single. But boy, Dave Parker had to use all of his 6'6" frame to cut that one off, and Knight has his second hit of the game. That'll bring Cesar Geronimo to the plate. Pastore on deck, but I cannot see anyone at the Reds bat rack at the moment. A good play by Dave Parker to save extra bases for Ray Knight. Reds now with 4 hits in the game, and Ray Knight has half of them. He's at first base. Geronimo at the plate. He has struck out both times up. Bibby the stretch. The pitch. Geronimo squares the bunt, takes high and outside a ball. Pirates have had 7 hits, the Reds 4. Each team with an extra base hit. Concepcion a double for the Reds and Foley a double for the Pirates. Bibby to the belt. Geronimo squares the bunt, does first base side foul. Count 1-1. Frank Pastore standing on deck, but I'm quite sure we'll see a pinch hitter for Frank. The Reds at bat here in the 7th. Knight returns to the first base bag. Bibby off the pitching rubber, now back on, and looks to Ott for the sign, has it. The stretch, Geronimo squares the bunt, and that's ball 2 up high, 2-1. Bill Madlock right in Geronimo's face when Cesar turned the bunt before Bibby ever started his delivery. Now Cesar looking down to Russ Nixon for his sign. Knight at first leads. Bibby the stretch. Geronimo again turns to bunt, and he does first base side. Stargell up, looks at second. He'll throw back to Garner, and the sacrifice works as Knight moves on to second base, and Harry Spillman will go to the plate to hit for Frank Pastore. Play on Geronimo goes 3-4. Stargell to Garner. Harry Spillman the batter. Harry for the year hit .214. As a pinch hitter, Spillman 5 for 22. Spillman with 3 doubles and 5 RBIs. Right now, Ott at the mound talking with Jim Bibby. Pirates leading 2-1. The Reds threatening here in the 7th. Got Ray Knight at second base with one out, and now Harvey Haddix, the Pirate pitching coach, out of the Pirate dugout, and I'm sure Harvey wants to make sure that Bibby understands how they want to pitch to Harry Spillman. Bill Madlock, along with Willie Stargell, move in to join in the conversation. Now we've had two thrilling baseball games to this point. Last night's game going 11 innings, and ending when Stargell hit the 3-run homer, and right now the Reds trailing 2-1, but have the tying run at second base in Ray Knight. And Ray Knight talking with Russ Nixon, the Reds' third base coach. Bill Garner still at the mound talking with Odd and Bibby. Very seldom will you see a quick championship playoff game or a World Series game because of a lot of strategies are put to work. All right, we're ready to go. Harry Spillman steps in, a left-handed batter. And he's good buddy down at second base, Ray Knight. Spillman backs away from the plate. Now steps back in. Bibby looks to Ott for the sign. Nods the okay and the stretch. Bibby delivers. Spillman swings and fouls. Off to the left and back into the seats. 0-1 to Harry Spillman, hitting for Frank Pastore. Seems Dave Tomlin will be the pitcher in the 8th inning. Maybe has the sign. The 0-1 delivery. Spillman takes strike 2, fastball, and the count 0-2 to Harry. Ray Knight at second base. Now Bibby steps back off the pitching rubber and now back on and looks into Ott. Bibby nods the okay to the sign. The stretch, the 0-2. Spillman swings and hits it into left field, and Bill Robinson is there, though, and makes the one-handed grab. Spillman hits the ball good, but Robinson able to catch up with it. 2 away, and Dave Collins the batter. Collins 0 for 3 in a stolen base. A fly ball to left center in the first, struck out in the second, and hit into a force out in the 5th, stole second. Now Ray Knight remains at second base. Waiting on Collins to settle into the batter's box. Chuck Tanner leaning on the railing down in the Pirate dugout. Outfield plays Collins about straight away. Now Marino moves a little bit toward left and center. The pitch to Dave. He swings and misses a good hard fastball. On 1 the count to Collins. Reds have stranded 5 base runners through 6 innings. Pirates have stranded 5 through 7. The 0-1. Collins swings and misses, and the count 0-2. They'll be throwing hard here in the 7th. Well, we need a base hit. Get Knight in and tie it up 2-2. Pirates leading 2-1. Collins away from the plate, now steps back in. Bibby nods the okay to the sign, sets. And the 0-2 pitch, high and outside. A ball, 2 strikes. Joe Morgan waits on deck. Bibby onto the pitching rubber. Takes off a sign from Ott. Now nods okay. He's to the belt. A 1-2. Collins swings and doesn't get it. And that's 5 strikeouts for Jim Bibby and the Reds in the 7th. No runs, a hit, no errors. 1 runner left on base. And after 7, Pirates 2, Reds 1.
Tim Foley, Dave Parker, and Willie Stargell. Tomlin 2-2 on the year with a .264 earned run average. He delivers to Foley, and Timmy takes a strike at the knees. Tommy Hume and Doug Baer throwing down in the Cincinnati bullpen. Foley swings and loops it down the right field line, but that's going to fall into the Cincinnati bullpen, and the count goes to 2 strikes. Well, I'll tell you one thing. We've had strong pitching efforts from both starters in this series. Tom Seaver last night, Frank Pastore today. 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs with a strikeout and 2 walks. Up high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tomlin studies a sign from bench. The left-hander wheels and deals, and Foley hits one on a bounce to Morgan at second. Joe to Dreesen, 1 down. That'll bring up Dave Parker, and our attendance here today, 55,000 on the button. 55,000 to give us a 2-day league championship series attendance figure of 110,006. We had 55,006 last night.
The other 6 had flat tires on the way in and couldn't make it.
Probably so. What are the odds on having a crowd even 55,000?
55,000 to 1.
That's right. 7th largest crowd at Riverfront and the 3rd largest playoff game crowd. Here's Dave Parker. He swings and he misses on a breaking ball. Parker has struck out, singled, and bounced to shortstop. Swung on, a bat handle foul. It'll find its way back into the seats, and the count goes to 2 strikes on the Pirate right fielder. Pittsburgh with 7 hits, and they've had all of them in 3 different innings. 3 hits and a run in the 4th, 2 hits and a run in the 5th, and 2 hits with nothing in the 7th. Foster firing a strike to Johnny Bench to nail Ed out at the plate. Swing and a miss. Parker strikes out swinging. Quickly 2 out, and now Stargell, who's 1 for 2 with a walk. Pretty nasty breaking ball that Tomlin just threw Parker to strike him out on. Left-hander against left-handed batter. Too low for a ball. Bill Robinson on deck. He'll be up for the first time if Stargell should get on, or else he'll lead off the 9th. Willie swings and pulls it foul. That goes into the Cincinnati bullpen. Vic Carell and Donnie Warner down there taking the tosses of Doug Baer and Tommy Hume. 1 ball and 1 strike on Stargell, who now converses with Johnny Bench and plate umpire Ed Montague. The 1-1. That's strike 2 call at the knees. Tomlin winds and pitches. Stargell takes in the dirt. 2-2. Willie waving the bat around. Tomlin brings it back up there to him, and a swing and a foul. That one apparently got Johnny Bench. Johnny says something to Stargell, and Stargell good-naturedly says something back to Bench. Well, the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Apparently that ball got John either on the foot or above the shin guards. Bounced up and hit him on the inside of the right leg. Area unprotected. So holding at 2-2 on Willie Stargell. And low and outside, ball 3. Tomlin coming with a payoff pitch, and Stargell hits one into deep right center field. Going back, Geronimo at the wall. It is going to be off the fence. Here comes Stargell on to second base. He'll take the turn and hold with a 2-out double to deep right center field. Geronimo got back quickly to the wall, but the ball hitting about 3/4 of the way up on it. So Stargell stationed at second with a 2-out double. John McNamara comes out of the dugout as we pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
Hi, this is Chuck Doherty. Win a year of cost-free living in the best year of your life, 1980, on WLW Cincinnati.
The Cincinnati Reds 580 gift shop in downtown Cincinnati is a souvenir hunter's paradise. And just a reminder, the shop is open year-round.
John McNamara at the Riverfront Stadium mound looking into his bullpen, and he's going to summon Tommy Hume on to pitch to Bill Robinson. So Dave Tomlin retires Foley on a ground ball to second. Parker, he strikes out swinging. Goes 3-2 on Willie Stargell, and the big man wraps a double off the boards in deep right center. So Tommy Hume will try and come on to retire Bill Robinson and keep the deficit at 1. We'll see how it turns out when we return in a moment. We're in the 8th inning of a 2-1 game. 2 men are out. Willie Stargell has doubled, forcing John McNamara to make a pitching change, lifting the left-hander Tomlin in favor of the right-hander Hume. And Tommy, who of course was a loser last night, he pitched 2 1/3 innings, allowing 5 hits and 3 runs. Touched up with that 11th inning 3-run home run by Stargell, following singles by Tim Foley and Dave Parker. So Tommy Hume was absolutely money in the bank during the season, 10-9. With 17 saves and an earned run average of 276. It was second only in the National League to Houston's James Rodney Richard. All right, Bill Robinson up for the first time in the series. He swings, grounds one to short. Concepcion has it, and on to throw to first in time. One pitch, and Hume pitches out of it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. Going to the home 8th inning, Pirates lead the Reds 2-1. Well, that deep Pittsburgh Pirate bullpen is now going to be brought into play here as manager Chuck Tanner congratulates Jim Bibby for a job well done and elects to bring on the left-hander Grant Jackson. Bibby goes 7, gives up a run on only 4 base hits. He struck out 5 and walked 4, and now turns it over to the veteran left-hander who was the winning pitcher in the opener last night. Jackson pitched an inning and 2/3, giving up a hit with 2 strikeouts and a walk. And he'll be facing Joe Morgan, Dave Concepcion, and George Foster. 2 more are loosening in the Pirate bullpen. Left-hander Dave Roberts and right-hander Enrique Romo. Since the 3rd inning, the Reds have had only 1 hit. That was the 7th inning leadoff single by Ray Knight. We had 2 hits in the 2nd from Dreesen and Knight. A double by Concepcion in the 3rd, and not another until the single by Knight in the last frame. Here's Morgan, and here's Jackson, and the pitch is taken low for a ball.
Marty, last night, Grant Jackson worked behind a lot, really. He was behind almost every batter he faced.
And he's behind here to Joe Morgan as he misses high, 2-0. Left-hander pours it home. Morgan takes strike on the inside edge. 2 balls and a strike. Joe with 14 walks and 8 stolen bases for League Championship Series play, and both of those numbers are major league records. Today he has walked, popped up, and fly to center. Madlock even with a bag at third. Stargell deep and shading the line at first. 2-1 Pittsburgh. Morgan drives one, foul to deep right field. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pirates have doubled the hits on us, 8-4. Two on the way. That bounces up there, and the count goes full. Jackson, a quick worker. Morgan out of the batter's box. Now backs further away as Dave Concepcion kneels on deck. Payoff pitch. Here it is. Swung on, ground ball right side. Garner makes the play and throws him out. Now Dave Concepcion and as Grant Jackson gets Joe Morgan, Chuck Tanner immediately heads toward the mound and will bring on the right-hander Romo as the Pirate manager starts to wheel and deal in his bullpen. So Romo, a right-hander, will replace Jackson, a left-hander, and I don't think Grant Jackson is happy about leaving. But he's going to be lifted nevertheless as Romo comes on to face Concepcion and Foster. Will return after this. Well, this game, as far as the pitchers are concerned, taking on a very similar pattern to last night's opening game, where starters Seaver and Candelaria went 8 and 7 innings respectively, and then the parade began. Hume and Tomlin followed Seaver. Romo, Tekulve, Jackson, and Robinson came after Candelaria. Today, both Pastore and Bibby went 7 apiece. Tomlin pitched 2/3 of the 8th. Hume came on to get Robinson on the inning-ending groundout, and now here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Jackson starts, gets Morgan on a bouncing ball to second, and Tanner then brings on Romo to face Concepcion and Foster and bench if necessary. Although Kent Tekulve has replaced Romo as Dave Roberts continues to throw also. Last night, Romo worked in 1/3 of an inning. He gave up a hit, had a strikeout and a walk. He immediately got himself into trouble in the 8th inning. With 1 down, Dave Collins singled to right center, stole second. Joe Morgan then drew a base on balls. Then Tekulve came on and got Concepcion to bounce into a double play. That was the last threat that the Reds posed until the bottom of the 11th when they loaded the bases off of Grant Jackson, and Don Robinson then came on, and after walking bench to load him up, that actually loaded the bases, struck out Ray Knight to end the game. Here's the first pitch to Concepcion, and Davey takes a strike. Pittsburgh leading by a score of 2-1. Cincinnati scored in the 2nd. Pirates tied it in the 4th and went out in front in the 5th on a 2-out double by Tim Foley, driving in Phil Garner, who had singled and moved to second on a Bibby sacrifice. High and inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now you consider the number of appearances that the threesome of Tekulve, Romo, and Jackson made this past season for the Pirates to give you a good idea of the great reliance that Chuck Tanner had on his bullpen. Strike 2 call. Kent Tekulve again set a club record by appearing in 94 games. Romo was in 84 and Jackson in 72. That's giving your relief corps a lot of work. Pitch. Missing outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Davey is double in 3 trips. Romo with a sign and the break-even pitch to the Red shortstop. Swung on and lined to left field. Base hit. So the tying run is on. The go-ahead run coming to the plate. Tell you one thing, Dave Concepcion is hitting the ball. He was 2 for 5 last night and is 2 for 4 today. Foster has walked twice and struck out. Chuck Tanner talking with Harvey Haddix. He will apparently stay with Romo to work to Foster. Well, let's see now. John Kibler, the right field umpire, has come in to say something, apparently, to first baseman Willie Stargell. Now Kibler backpedals on down the line. Davey line drive, the hit to left with one out here in the 8th. Foster, who owns the only home run so far in the series for Cincinnati. And that's what this crowd of 55,000 is hoping for right here. Foster backs away. Enrique Romo and George Foster stretching the pitch. Foster takes it on the inside edge for a strike, and George shakes his head as if to say that pitch was too much inside. Stargell on the bag at first, trying to keep Concepcion from getting too big a lead. Romo looking over that way. Now the right-hander with a motion. And the strike one pitch. Swung on and a base hit into right field. Concepcion comes to second. He takes a turn and he'll hold there. And whoa! A rocket-type throw from Dave Parker to Tim Foley, and Davey had to dive back into the bag to avoid the tag. Back-to-back singles. Here comes Tanner back to the mound. He's wearing out a path, and I'm sure he's going to bring on his big guy, Kent DeCalvi. The string bean right-hander slowly walking in toward the mound as he will come on in relief with Concepcion and Foster on. Right-hander Kent DeCalvi ready to go now with Johnny Bench. Enrique Romo faces two hitters. Dave Concepcion single to left. George Foster had a base hit to right. So the tying run is at second. The go-ahead run is at first. Insurance is at the plate. Kent DeCalvi. Native of this area. Graduate of Baden High School. 6'4", 160-pounder. Starts into his stretch, and Johnny Bench steps away. He led the Bucks in appearances, saves, and games finished. And he appeared in and finished more games than any other National League pitcher. One out, two on. 8th inning. The pitch to Johnny Bench. Bench bunts at the ball and did not get it. I don't know what in the world Johnny Bench is thinking of, trying to bunt in this situation. No, Bench behind a strike. Don Robinson, Dave Roberts continue to throw for the Pirates. DeCalvi checks the runners, delivers. Bench takes it, and it gets through the catcher off. Both Concepcion and Foster move into scoring position as Kent DeCalvi throws one away. Well, that should really change the complexion of things now.
It looked like a breaking ball that DeCalvi really tried to let fly, and he did, of course. Got way outside and by Ott. So we've gotten a break that we've been talking about, and, well, let's see if we can take advantage of it.
Well, in this situation now, if nothing else, Johnny Bench can get a ball up in the air deep enough to get Concepcion home, and now time is called. John McNamara running all the way out to second base to personally talk with George Foster, which is something you see very, very rarely, but Mac going out to have a word with Foster Bench walking down the third baseline to meet with Dave Concepcion.
Well, Marty, I don't know. Mac looks like George stretching his left leg and feeling high up in his thigh. So whether George has pulled something, not. I think this is exactly what Mac wanted to check out to make sure that he was all right. If not, get someone out there that can run.
Okay, the meeting breaks up at second. The meeting breaks up third base side. Davey heads back to third. Bench heads back to the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Many of them standing here at Riverfront. The infield pulled in a few paces. Tekulve looks in for the sign. Johnny Bench waiting on the 1-1 pitch. And here it is. Swing and a miss. Tekulve, the third pitcher used by the Pirates here in the 8th. Outfield for Bench, straight away and deep. Now the pause, and now the pitch. He struck him out swinging. Kent Tekulve, after a while pitching both runners into scoring position, has fanned Johnny Bench. Now it'll be Danny Dreesen at the plate. Kent Tekulve looked into the dugout to see what manager Chuck Tanner might want to do in this situation with first base open, and they are apparently, well, let's see. Yeah, they're going to intentionally walk Dreesen. If you don't hit, you're going to have a hard time winning, and that has been the problem for the Reds here in this series. A golden opportunity right there for the Reds to tie it up with a fly ball at the least, and Tekulve with a big strikeout of Johnny Bench. Now Doug Baer goes down to start throwing in the Reds bullpen as Dreesen is in the process of getting an intentional walk. There's ball 4, so the bases are loaded, and Ray Knight will hit. Ray has had 2 of the 6 Cincinnati hits, a single in the 2nd, a single in the 7th. Right now behind the mound, Tekulve confers with second baseman Phil Garner. Knight 2 for 3 today, and 2 for 8 in the series. Concepcion at third, Foster at second, Dreesen at first. Pirates 2, the Reds 1. Nobody has scored since the 5th inning when the Pirates broke the tie. Tekulve will work from the stretch. Here's his first pitch. Low and away, ball 1. Two men are out. Concepcion and Foster, they belong to Romo. Dreesen, the responsibility of Tekulve. The 1-0 to Ray Knight. Here it is. That's taken for a ball, 2-0. Right now, the crowd roaring on every pitch. Robinson straight away and left. Parker straight away and right. Marino maybe shading Knight a step toward right field. Now he swings the plane straight away. Davey dancing off the bag at third. The 2-0 pitch. That's in there for strike 1 call. Right now, it's anybody's game. Knight having taken a strike. He'll be swinging away from here on out. He's had 2 hits in the game, and 1 right now could send the Reds out in front. Pitch inside, ball 3. Kent Tekulve. Missing inside to Ray Knight is behind 3-1, but this young man has been in this situation many times before. He's not flustered. He comes back to the plate, and that's strike 2 call. Well, the string now is absolutely out. 2 outs, bases loaded, 3-2 on the batter. DeCalvi casually looking around, picks up outside, and the runners break. Here's a payoff pitch and a bouncing ball foul at third. Well, they'll head on back. Russ Nixon picks up the ball and flips it on to the third base umpire Dick Stello for his inspection. No problems with the baseball, so DeCalvi gets it back. The Reds frustrated by their inability so far here in Cincinnati to get a big base hit. DeCalvi ready, and a pitch. Swung on and hit into center field. Marino comes in, he makes the catch, and that ends the inning. So the Reds are frustrated one more time. No runs, 2 hits, 3 left. Going to the ninth, the Pirates 2 and the Reds 1. Pitching line on Enrique Romo. He goes, well, does not retire a batter, allows 2 hits, but due to the fine pitching of Kent DeCalvi, no runs were scored against him. So we're into the ninth, still looking at a 1-run deficit that really continues to loom bigger and bigger and bigger. The Reds will have one more shot in the last of the ninth inning. Madlock is 0 for 3. He's driven in a run. He swings and grounds one to the left side. Concepcion has it. His throw in time. 1 out. That brings up Ed Ott. Tommy Hume retires Madlock on 1 pitch. Doug Bear down in the Reds bullpen. Ott has grounded out twice and singled to right field. Both of his ground outs have resulted in good plays. One by Joe Morgan behind second in the 3rd inning, and a good play by Dave Concepcion coming in on a slow tapper in the 4th. Swung on and fouled away. Scheduled to bat for the Reds in the 9th, Cesar Geronimo, a pinch hitter for Tommy Hume, and Dave Collins. That's too low. 1 ball and 1 strike. With a bat handle foul, and that'll find its way back into the seats. So out behind at a ball, 2 strikes. Reds have used Pastore, Tomlin, and Hume. The Pirates, Bibby, Jackson, Romo, and DeCalvi. And the pitchers of record, the 2 starting pitchers. Line drive into left field. Foster will have to play it on the bounce. And Ott with his 2nd hit of the afternoon, and base hit number 9 for Pittsburgh. Phil Garner has bounced to second, singled, and he scored the go-ahead run in the 5th inning on Foley's double to left. In the 7th, fly to left field. Ott with a short lead at first. Garner takes a strike away. Infield looking for the ground ball. Garner swings and misses. Tommy Hume came right in on his hands. And the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Oh, 2 the count on Phil Garner. Kent DeCalvi on deck. 1 away here in the Pirate 9th inning, and they lead 2-1. Low and outside, 1-2. Garner pulls it foul. That scatters him in the Pirate dugout as the ball bounces in and then out to third baseman Ray Knight. 3rd game of the series, Friday afternoon in Pittsburgh. Mike Lacoste for the Reds. and Bert Blyleven, the probable starter for Pittsburgh. Hume kicks and he throws. Garner takes it outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Garner, a .293 hitter during the regular season with 11 home runs. He's batting .429 here in the playoffs, and he hits a hard ground ball to third, knocked down by Ray Knight. He goes to second base to get the force out on Ed Ott. I'll tell you, Garner has made some solid contact. As Kent DeCalvey comes to the plate, we'll pause one more time for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
Hi, this is JFPO. Win a year of cost-free living in the best year of your life, 1980, on WLW Cincinnati.
You'll find a wide array of distinctive gift items and souvenirs when you shop the Cincinnati Reds 580 gift shop and newsstand, corner of 6th and Walnut in downtown Cincinnati.
Well, Kent DeCalvey first had a word with Chuck Tanner and now talks with third base coach Joe Launette. As he comes to the plate with 2 down, went to the plate 15 times during the year, had 2 hits, both singles, and drove in a run. Garner now the runner at first as DeCalvey swings and he misses. Swing and a miss on a pitch outside. No balls and 2 strikes. Hume will try to end the Pirate 9th inning with this pitch right here. And it's just high, a ball. Off day tomorrow, so there'll be some rested arms in both bullpens before the clubs meet in Game 3 Friday. Swing and a miss, struck him out. And the Pirate 9th inning is history. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. The Reds with 1 more shot at trying to even out this series at a game apiece, because at the end of 8.5, it's Pittsburgh 2 and Cincinnati 1. Left-hander Dave Roberts and right-hander Donnie Robinson will stay ready in the Pirate bullpen along the left field line as Kent DeCalvey comes out here in the 9th. Pirates out in front 2-1 as DeCalvey overcame a tremendous obstacle in the 8th inning. With 1 out, the Reds, Concepcion and Foster, had back-to-back singles off Enrique Romo. At that point, DeCalvey came on, and Weil pitched both runners into scoring position with 1 out, but then proceeded to strike out Johnny Bench. They then intentionally walked the left-handed batting Danny Dreesen and ended the threat by inducing Ray Knight to fly to Marino in center. The Reds have stranded 9 men on base in this game, while the Pirates have left 7 on. Oh, Geronimo will lead it off. He has struck out twice in sacrifice. 0 for 2 officially.
Number 20, the center field, Cesar Geronimo.
Looking down into the Reds dugout, trying to get an idea of who John McNamara might be sending up to pinch hit for Tommy Hume, and it looks like Hector Cruz is at the bat rack. Okay, Geronimo's in the batter's box. DeCalvey steps onto the pitching rubber. And here's his first 9th inning pitch. That's a ball. Two runs, 9 hits for the Pirates. 1 run, 6 hits for Cincinnati. Geronimo chops it foul at the plate. Ball bounces out toward the mound. DeCalvey picks it up and underhands it to Ed Montague. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Cruz will bat for Hume, and then Dave Collins. One and one. DeCalvey with Geronimo. Pitch on the outside corner for strike 2. Reds with only 7 hits in 11 innings last night, only 6 hits in this one. Geronimo still talking over that call with Montague. He thought the pitch was outside. But Tekulve has made his living by pitching on the black, so to speak. Bouncing ball, foul at first base. Stargell fields, throws back to the pitcher. One ball and 2 strikes. Right now, the big base hit in this game was Foley's 5th inning double. When Garner led off with a single, Bibby bunted him to second. Marino flied out, but Foley lined a double down the left field line, scoring Garner. Geronimo fouls this one back to stay alive. Reds threaten in the bottom of the 5th inning. Pastore drew a walk. Collins forced him on a bunt attempt, but then stole second. Morgan, however, fly to center. Concepcion fly to right. Threatened again in the 7th inning. Outside, 2-2. Knight single. Geronimo bunted him to second, but Spillman hitting for Pastore fly to left, and Collins struck out. And then the big frustrating threat, only to come away with nothing in the 8th inning. Ball loose from the Pirate bullpen. Matlock picks it up, throws it into John Candelaria in the Pirate dugout. Geronimo leading off the home ninth with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tekulve pitches. Geronimo strikes out swinging. That's the 3rd time that Geronimo has struck out today. And the 2nd strikeout for Kent Tekulve, and the hitter will be Hector Cruz. Cruz was a center fielder last night. He went 0 for 4, flied out, bounced out twice, and struck out. Pitching line on Tommy Hume, an inning and 1/3. He allowed a hit, struck out a batter. Did not walk anybody. Second pinch hitter of the game for the Reds. Spillman hit in the 7th. Cruz now in the 9th. Tekulve with a wind. The pitch. Cruz swings and he misses on a slow breaking ball. Tekulve, who finished 2nd in the National League this year in saves with a total of 31, second only to Bruce Suter's National League tying 37. Trying to save this one. Donnie Robinson saved it last night for Grant Jackson. Outside, a ball to strike. They continue to crank in that Pirate bullpen, Robinson and Roberts. As Cruz bats with 1 out in the Cincinnati 9th inning, trailing 2-1. Swing and a miss. And that pitch apparently will not count. Three of the umpires simultaneously throwing their hands up and waving off that pitch as still another ball got out of the Pirate bullpen. The umpire in left field, Jim Quick. At third base, Dick Stello, and the right field umpire, John Kibler, all waving off the pitch as Tekulve came to the plate, and Cruz swung at it and didn't get it, so that won't count. And the count will stay at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's a swing and a fly ball into right center field. Marino will have to play it on the bounce. Oop, it might get by. Here comes Cruz to second. He's in standing with a double. Ball took a big bounce off the AstroTurf. Marino kept the ball from going through to the wall. But Hector Cruz kept right on running and went into second base standing up with a double. So there we have the tying run again with 1 out, and Dave Collins coming to the plate. Davey is due. He's lined to center, struck out, reached on a fielder's choice, and struck out again. Well, the Reds are presented an opportunity one more time of their own making as Cruz doubles into the alley in right center. DeCalvi delivers to Dave Collins. Here's a pitch. Swung on and foul over top of the Pirate dugout. Seventh Cincinnati base hit. The pinch double by Hector Cruz. Pitch. Strike two call outside corner. That's what I'm talking about. That pitch right there. DeCalvi, when he's throwing well, can almost put a sold out sign on that outside part of the plate. Such is his control. He puts Collins in a two-strike hole. Hector Cruz off the bag at second. DeCalvi looks to him. Pitches to Collins. And that's outside and low, 1-2. Bullpen staying busy for both clubs. If the Reds can tie and force it to extra innings, Doug Bear would pitch the 10th. Collins settles back in. Outfield playing him straight away. DeCalvi pauses, steps off the pitching rubber as Cruz retreats to second. Pirates 2, Cincinnati 1. Pittsburgh trying to go home with a 2-0 lead. To Collins. Swung on, line drive, base hit, right center. Here comes Cruz rounding third, and we've got a tie game. Collins to second. Safe. Dave Collins with a line drive double to right center field to tie it up. We are all even at 2-2, and Joe Morgan with a base hit here can end it. They are standing and cheering and clapping at Riverfront as Chuck Tanner once again makes a walk to the mound. Davy Collins out at second, banging his hands together. And Dave Roberts will come on to face Joe Morgan. The Reds and the Pirates knotted up at 2-2. The roar starts up as Roberts sets and deals, and Morgan takes it outside. Now, if Roberts should walk Morgan, we will then, in all likelihood, see Don Robinson pitching to Dave Concepcion. The 1-0 pitch. That's high, ball 2. Hector Cruz started it with a one-out double to right center. Dave Collins and brought in the tying run as he burned DeCalvi with a double into the same sector of the ballpark. Morgan back in the batter's box as Dave Roberts looks around. Out hangs a sign. The left-hander looking and pitching. Ball 3. Down in the press box to our left, it's packed and jammed with media people from all over the country, many of them standing up on the back line, waiting to race for those elevators if the Reds should get a hit here and win it in the last half of the 9th inning. Collins dances off the bag at second. Roberts with a 3-0 count on Morgan and pitching. And that's ball 4. Here comes Tanner. Really surprising when you think about it that Chuck Tanner even wasted a pitcher, so to speak, and Dave Roberts with first base open and a winning run at second. He could have just as easily left Kent DeColvey in there to intentionally walk Morgan and then pitch to Dave Concepcion. But he brought on Roberts, who walks Morgan on 4 pitches, and now Don Robinson. The young West Virginian comes on. The savior of last night's game. And he will be facing Dave Concepcion. Okay, Robinson, stockily built, hard-throwing right-hander against the Red shortstop, who is double and single in 4 trips to the plate. The Reds with speed on the base paths, but with Collins carrying the winning run at second, Morgan at first is academic. 1 out, 2 on, 2-2 in the last of the ninth. Robinson on to the plate. Concepcion fouls it off to the right. Davey flied out of right field in the first inning, double off the wall in left center in the third, fly to right in the fifth, and single to left in the eighth. Davey bangs the plate with the head of the bat. Robinson straightens up on the mound, looks back at second, turns, throws back that way, and they almost pick Collins off. In fact, Tim Foley thought they got him. He's mad. Collins having his batting helmet jarred loose as he went back in standing up, and now Dave Concepcion goes back to the on-deck circle to rub up the bat handle with a pine tar rag. Doubles here in the ninth by Cruz. That one a pinch hit. And by Collins, tied it up. Roberts was brought on. He faced one batter, Joe Morgan, walked him. And Robinson was summoned to pitch to Dave Concepcion. Davey ready. Robinson also. The check of the runners and a 1-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Good fastball up. Strike 2. Should this game go to a 10th, the Pirates would have the top of their order up. Marino, Foley, and Parker. John McNamara, outwardly, his demeanor never changes. Very calm. Arms crossed down in the Reds dugout. Chuck Tanner leaning on the railing over in the Pirate dugout. The 0-2 pitch to Dave Concepcion. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a breaking ball away. Two down. And it'll be George Foster. George has walked twice, struck out, and single to right. Madlock and Robinson talk about it behind the mound. "22-year-old Don Robinson, 6'4", 231 pounds. Born in Ashland, Kentucky, makes his home in Kanawha, West Virginia. Foster would like to end it with one swing of the bat. Here's Robinson's pitch. Swung on, ground ball right side. Garner has it. He throws to Stargell, and that's the ninth inning. So Donnie Robinson gets it done as he strikes Concepcion out and gets Foster on a ground ball to second. But in the ninth inning, the Reds tie it up. 1 run, 2 base hits, no errors and 2 left. And at the end of 9, as we go to extra innings for the second straight game, the Reds 2 and the Pirates 2. The leadoff batter Marino will step in. He's 1 for 4, single to left in the 7th inning. Pitching line on Kent DeCalvey, 1 inning, 2 hits and a run with 2 strikeouts, an intentional walk, and a wild pitch. Dave Roberts faced 1 batter with a walk, Don Robinson. Currently the Pirate pitcher. Here's a pitch to Marino. He swings and fouls down the left field line. Tim Foley on deck. Dave Parker at the bat rack looking for a piece of timber. They're the trio of batters here in the 10th. They're 11-7 during the season with 16 saves. The strike 1 pitch to Marino. That's too low, a fastball, 1-1. Doug Bear, of course, was signed and came up through the Pittsburgh Pirate organization. Dealt off to the Oakland A's a few years back in the Phil Garner trade, and then came on to Cincinnati prior to last season. Line drive, base hit, right field. Now, just like that, the Pirates put the go-ahead run aboard as Omar Marino lines a single to right. Tim Foley 2 for 4, a single, a double, an RBI. He scored a run. And with the likes of Parker and Stargell coming up after Foley, not hard to figure what Tim's going to be trying to do here. As again the fires start to burn in the Cincinnati bullpen with right-hander Mario Soto. Marino, who led the National League in steals, and they had him leaning, but he was able to right himself and get back before the throw got to Dreesen. Charlie Lebrand will join Soto. Marino edges away from the bag, draws another throw, and safe again. Marino with 77 stolen bases during the season to lead the National League. Bear sets, turns, throws to first again, safe again. Talk about closing with a rush. Marino finished the season with 17 consecutive steals and 21 in his last 22 attempts. The pitch to Foley, he squares to bunt, does so. Bear has it. He throws to Morgan covering first. Foley with a sacrifice, 1-4, and Marino moves to second. Here's Parker. He has struck out twice, singled and grounded out to shortstop. Pirates, for the most part, have been able to do everything right in this series. When a bunt has been called for, they've been able to get it down. Bibby did it in the 5th after the leadoff single by Garner. Bibby again in the 7th inning. And now here in the 10th, following Marino's leadoff single, a sacrifice bunt by Tim Foley. We are tied at 2 runs apiece here in the top of the 10th inning. 2 runs, 10 hits for Pittsburgh. 2 runs, 8 hits for Cincinnati. Bear stretches and pitches. Parker swings and misses on a pitch in on him. Strike 1. Soto and Lebrand continue to crank it in the bullpen. All quiet for Pittsburgh. Donnie Robinson will be facing Johnny Bench, Danny Dreesen, and Ray Knight in the bottom of the 10th. Bear trying to shut him off here in the top half. 0-1 the count on Parker. That's up high. 1 ball, 1 strike. $55,000 here today. Again, the 2-day total, $110,006. Bear with a 1-1. That's too low. 2 balls a strike. Pirates scored in the 4th and the 5th. Got a 2-out double from Stargell in the 8th inning. 1-out single by Ott in the 9th. But has not been able to get a run across since the 5th. Bear back to the plate. with a kick in the pitch. Parker line drive, base hit into left field. Here comes Omar Marino. Here comes Foster's throw to the plate. Not in time, and Pittsburgh takes the lead. The throw goes down to second. Gets off Morgan's glove, but Parker, who went to second on the throw home, stays there. So Pittsburgh breaks a tie on a single, a sacrifice, and a base hit, and they lead it 3-2. Credit Dave Parker with a run-scoring single and put him at second on the throw to the plate. Now it'll be Willie Stargell. He has walked, single, bounced out, and doubled. They're going to intentionally walk Stargell. Well, Doug Baer, who struggled badly at times during the '79 regular season, making his first appearance in this league championship series, and well, at least up to this point, has certainly come up short as Marino hit him hard for a single to right. Foley with a bunt to get the runner to second, and Dave Parker with a line single to left field to send Pittsburgh up by a run. Here's Bill Robinson. Entered the game in the bottom of the 6th inning to replace John Milner in left field. Went up in the 8th and grounded out to Dave Concepcion. Well, the Pirates with 1 out and 2 on. The pitch to Robinson, swing and a miss on a pitch away. What a roller coaster ride of emotion. Postseason play. We've certainly seen evidence of it here today. Swing and a miss again as Baer has come to Robinson with 2 breaking balls away. Reds coming up off the mat to tie it up in the bottom of the 9th. Had a chance to win it. But Don Robinson struck out Concepcion and got Foster on a ground out to second to leave 2 on. And just like that, the Pirates jump out in front here in the 10th inning and are trying to get some more. 2 strikes. Baer with Robinson. Swung on and popped up. That's going to be in play off the first base foul line, and Johnny Bench has it for out number 2. Bill Madlock 0 for 4. He's knocked in a run. Now we're going to get further activity in the Pirate bullpen with right-hander Bert Blyleven and left-hander Jim Rooker. Parker leading at second, Stargell at first. Madlock takes it up and in, ball 1. Bouncing ball, shortstop, Dave Concepcion. His play will be to first. There's the stretch by Dreesen. The putout made on Madlock, and the Pirates are out in the 10th. But Pittsburgh gets a run. 2 hits and 2 left. Then after 9.5, the Pirates 3 and the Reds 2. Well, for the second straight inning, the Reds are 3 outs away from falling behind 2-0 in this series. They were able to tie it up in the 9th inning on doubles by Hector Cruz and Dave Collins off of Kent DeCulvey. And now Don Robinson out there with a 1-run lead. 3-2 as the Reds come calling in the bottom half of the 10th. Johnny Bench will start things off. Bench today has flied to deep right center, popped to first, grounded to short, and struck out. He was the first man that Robinson faced in the 11th inning last night after Concepcion had singled and Foster had walked with 2 out. And as Don pointed out in his comments after the game, he was not going to allow Johnny Bench to hit him out of here last night with a blow that could have tied the game up. In fact, with a 3-2 pitch, he missed very close with a breaking ball that won his ball 4, but then he ended the game with a strikeout of Ray Knight. Here's his first pitch to Bench. John swings and misses. Actually fouls it into the mid of Ed Ott. That's down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tell you one thing, when you talk about a manager using every last able body he has on his pitching staff, that's a story of the Pirates. They have used a total of 6 pitchers today, and if need be, Chuck Tanner would go to Jim Rooker and Bert Blyleven, who both are currently throwing. Bench swings and misses. Robinson threw the fastball by him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Johnny had a chance to do damage in the 8th inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out, but DeCalvi struck him out. That one bounces up and through Ott as the count is brought level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two straight extra inning games. And the Pirates are trying to win them both. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pirate outfield about as deep as it can get for Bench. Johnny swings and slaps it foul to the Pirate dugout. Aside from the pitching aspect, the Pirates have made only 1 change all day, and that was to place Robinson in left for John Milner in the bottom of the 6th inning. Reds have made changes no changes aside from the pitching change. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Second strikeout for Don Robinson. The batter will be Danny Dreesen. Danny has singled and scored a run, bounced to second, fly to left, and drew an intentional walk in the 8th. So Robinson, who saved last night's win for Grant Jackson, can pick up the victory today. Dreesen 1 for 3. Ball is in the dirt, off the glove of Ott. Ball 1. That's over at the letters for a call strike. Robinson 1-1 to Danny Dreesen. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Boy, I'll tell you, this kid can flat bring it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He shakes off Ott, gets what he wants, and here's a pitch. That's a breaking ball low, 2-2. Ball 3 is high. So Don Robinson has gone as far as he can go with Danny Dreesen as Rooker and Blyleven continue to throw. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here in the home 10th inning. The Reds are down a run, and the payoff pitch swung on and popped up. Shallow left field, coming in on it, Bill Robinson, and he squeezes it for the 2nd out. Oh, the Reds look to Ray Knight to try and keep him going here. Knight owns a couple of singles and 4 times to the plate. He flied to center off to Colby for the final out with the bases loaded in the 8th inning, his last time up there. Swing and a foul. Strike 1. That made the play. Two out, nobody on. Strike 2 call. Robinson throwing loose here in the 10th inning. Is ahead of Knight. No balls and 2 strikes. A pitch. Here's a drive hit back into right field. Parker going back, but he's got a play, and the Pirates lead in the series 2-0. Here in the bottom of the 10th inning, Don Robinson sets the Reds down in order. For the second straight day here in Cincinnati, the Reds and the Pirates go extra innings, and for the second straight day, the Pittsburgh Pirates come out on top in this one by a final score of 3-2. And we'll be back in just a moment.